Krishna. No. Welcome, Kamat family.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Anil ji, Subarna ji, Hare Krishna.
Unmute करो.
Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna. You
Hare
went for
Krishna.
Rath Yatra?
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely.
Okay, very good. How was the experience?
Oh, it's amazing, Prabhu. I just can't express it, of course.
Okay. So,
On the first day, we had that full rush. Of course, I went inside the temple. We had darshan and all that. We came out. We saw the Rath Yatra. I mean, inside itself, we saw Jagannath, Subhadra, Baladeva coming out. But on the Rath Yatra, on that very day, it was full rush. So we made it the next day, Prabhuji.
okay, no problem. You're there, it's good.
Yes, that's all, Prabhu. I wanted a good experience, Prabhu. That's it. Hare Krishna. I wanted to see Jagannath Prabhuji
Yeah.
going out.
Very good, excellent.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Bhuvika ji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dear Krishna Prabhu and Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So let's begin our session with prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Ganadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So welcome everyone for the Friday evening session on Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have begun the discussions on chapter 14. Right? So just started the discussions, the initial verses, wherein Krishna is continuing to speak from the last chapter, wherein Krishna has spoken or answered questions, 6 questions Arjuna has asked, 13th chapter. What is Prakriti? What is Purusha? What is Jnana? What is Gaya, object of knowledge? What is Kshetra? Kshetrajna. So while answering all these questions, Krishna had to speak about Prakriti also. He briefly mentioned about Prakriti in the previous chapter. Now he's going to elaborately explain about Prakriti in this chapter. So Prakriti basically is one of the energies of Krishna, material nature, right? Prakriti is material nature. So what is this material nature composed of? How material nature is influencing each one of us in our lives? In the last chapter, 13th chapter, Krishna explained that material nature is the cause of creating different bodies for us. Karanam guna sangosya sadasa janma yonishu. Prakritistohi. So like this Krishna explained that material nature is playing a very important role for creating different types of bodies and accordingly the bodily various features with regard to thinking, feeling and other aspects with the body. It's like a particular car model will have a particular type of features. Like that, every body which each of us have, or each of the living entities have got their own type of a way of functioning, way of conducting their lives. So Krishna very clearly explained all these things, that we as living entities are trying to enjoy in this material world. Purusha prakritistohi bhungte prakriti janmuna. Right? The living entity is trying to enjoy the material nature, but is getting entangled. This entanglement is causing him to take birth in different types of species of life. So exactly what is this material nature and how material nature is actually influencing every aspect of our life. Right? How they act, how they bind, and how they can give liberation also. Krishna is going to explain. So Krishna says that this knowledge which Lord Krishna is going to explain now to Arjuna is considered to be the highest knowledge so far, whatever he has explained. Better than whatever he has explained so far. Right? It is supreme wisdom. And anyone who can understand this can attain supreme perfection. He further confirms this in the verse number 2, that if you can become situated in this knowledge nicely, fixed up in this knowledge, means properly situated, properly understanding this knowledge and always contemplating on this and trying to see world accordingly, you will attain spiritual nature, a nature like Krishna's only. So, which means once you go to spiritual nature, you will not take birth again in the material world. You are forever liberated. That's the understanding. Now, Krishna explains what is this material world around us. Whatever we're talking as material world, what it is. This material world, Krishna says, Krishna has, for one of his expansions, known as Vishnu, he manifests this material world. When Vishnu wants to, rather Krishna is having the expansion of Vishnu to create the material world, the total material substance which will further diversify or become different things in the material world. That total material substance is called Mahat Brahma. Right? So Krishna says, in this Mahat Brahma, I impregnate. Rather, Krishna will just glance. If you remember in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, during the day of Brahma, 24 hours, when the night comes, the living entities are again manifest. And with the night, again living entities go and merge in the body of Vishnu. Like this, day and night are happening. So this, every time when the creation happens, whenever the new day begins of Brahma, Lord Vishnu glances on the total material substance. This glancing is called impregnation. And like this, the different living entities from whichever situation they were having their body, they all become manifest. That is what is going on. So wherever he left, say some living entity who has just left his body in the life of a bird, next life is supposed to get a body of a beast, then accordingly he'll get next life. So it's a continuity. The Lord knows what stage, situation, what condition your life ended, and what is your next evolutionary step. So likewise, Krishna says, I become the father of all living entities. Very clearly, Krishna says, Aham bija pratapita. The father gives the seed, bija, in the womb of the mother. So that way, the child is taking help of that mother's womb and growing up. But the seed has to be given by father. So Krishna very clearly says in verse number 3 and 4 that whatever species of life we see around us, it is all made possible by birth in this material world, by Krishna's seed-giving process and Mother Nature acting as the material nature acting as the mother. The womb, like my mother gives the child proper protection in the womb and nurtures and makes the body to grow. Likewise, the material nature, with Krishna's instructions, with Krishna's direction, she produces different types of species of life. That is the understanding Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, I am the father of all living entities. That is the explanation of the material world. How all of us have come into existence. In the previous chapter, Krishna also has explained, we are a combination of Kshetra, Kshetragya. Kshetra means this body, Kshetragya means spirit soul. Means body. What is body? Body is a product of material nature. Now, more clear explanation is given in this chapter. Is material nature is acting like the mother. It's like the mother keeps the child in the in her womb for whatever number of time, months or days or months, and then the child comes out. Right. Likewise, the mother material nature is producing different species of life, and the seed-giving father is Krishna. That's the point. Now, further, Krishna gives more, he just gave a broader understanding of what is material nature. Now, from verse 5 onwards, he explains more details about his material nature. He says, Sattvam Rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava. I'm reading verse number 5 from chapter 14. Nibaddhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. So this material nature, what is material nature? Material nature means it has 3 modes. It consists of 3 modes. Again, to give a simple example of what is modes, you have a washing machine or a mixie in your house. That machine is having different modes. In washing machine, you say only cotton you can wash, wool you can wash, mix, or very dirty cloth. Accordingly, you set the knob in that mode, it will function accordingly. Or mixie also, 1, 2, 3, or in the car gear, 1, 2, 3, whichever gear you have put accordingly, then that speed the car will start moving. That's the point. So whichever mode means in particular type, particular way, you will be influenced in the material world, and there are 3 types you can get influenced. They are called mode of goodness, sattva guna, mode of passion, rajoguna, and mode of ignorance called tamoguna. So Krishna says, when the living entity, Dehi, he actually is avyayam, he is eternal, but somehow he comes in contact with his material nature. How he comes in contact, we have understood in 13th chapter. Karanam guna sanvasi, right? He becomes conditioned by. So the living entity's position right now is he has got conditioned. Condition means he has got one type of a understanding, thinking, feeling that I am bound, or I cannot do this, I cannot do that. I have told this incident earlier also, I can repeat just to make it very clear. In Kerala, the elephants and their babies, they are tied with a rope in their legs so that they will not simply create mischief and then move here and there. That rope, because this small child, elephant, baby elephant, it cannot move around. But when the elephant grows and becomes big, even then the same rope is tied. The elephant from childhood, it has got conditioned to think, oh, I am bound, I cannot move. But when it has grown up, one kick, that rope and whatever it is, will all go for a sixer. It will go completely. But it thinks, oh, I am bound, I cannot move, Likewise, we are having condition, we are being conditioned now to think, I grow old, I'll die one day, I'll become diseased, my life is like this. So you've been seeing this everywhere, and you also think that's what my life is. But Bhagavad Gita tells us this old age, disease, death, birth, all is for the body. But you are not the body. You are Dehi. You are not Deha. Right? Right now, we are conditioned by these modes because we are thinking I am this body. So, scriptures say, Asangoyam Purushaha. The living entity has nothing to do with its material nature. But somehow it thinks that I am part of this material nature. It's all in the mind. Right? The example which I gave in previous sessions also. You go to a movie theater and the movie is going on the screen and you associate with the characters and you become part of that whole movie in your mind. Right? Like that, we become associated with this material nature and creating a mind world, mental world in our own consciousness. So the living entity is actually transcendental. It is beyond this conditioning, but somehow becomes conditioned. And it is thinking that, oh, human body means this is how it is. When some other body you get, body of a bird, it has one type of a conditioning. It's like you're sitting in a very basic model of a car. It has one speed to go, and some comfort of, comfort you can feel. But if you get conditioned in that, even if you go to a luxury car, oh, maybe same problem will have. So like that, that's called conditioning. So like this, in different bodies, we have been going through this experience of conditioning, life after life, right? And all this is because material nature is giving one type of a body, and you are forced to experience that. This is what we understood in the previous chapter. So like this, different types of happiness, distress which we are experiencing. Krishna explained that in the previous chapter. Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktatve heturuchyate. Right? The living entity experiencing different happiness and distress is all because he's taking different bodies. But actually, as a spirit soul, he is always blissful, Satchidananda. But right now, he's conditioned. Conditioned by what? Conditioned by the influence of the material nature. What is material nature? Material nature is energy of Krishna imposed upon us, or being directed to influence us because we have forgotten Krishna. It's like a citizen or a person who is disobeying the established government laws. What happens? Government will take severe action to enforce law upon you. That is called conditioning. As a free citizen, you have right to do what is legally correct. But when you violate the law, what happens? Restrictions come in. Just like we hear sometimes, oh, this person has done some scam. So the court will issue an order. Now he cannot go out of the country, his passport is seized, is done. So many conditions. Conditioning means he cannot function as a normal citizen. Likewise, when you break, or rather when you disobey the established laws of Krishna and want to function in your own way, then you are put under this condition of the material nature, which are of three types. That is called Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Now Krishna elaborately explains in the rest of the chapter, what is this influence? What is mode of goodness actually? Right? In the washing machine, mode, you put in cotton mode, nicely cotton clothes get washed. Likewise, what is mode of goodness? Mode of goodness means the quality of the material nature in a particular way, influencing our intelligence, our determination, our thinking, our way of seeing things, everything is like colored. A white light going through a yellow cover, everything will look yellow. Light coming is yellow color, like that. So what is mode of goodness? What is mode of passion? What is mode of ignorance? Krishna explains. At least we have to understand now that because of our disobedience to Krishna, we are conditioned in a particular way. Sooner we come back to a situation of following Krishna's orders, or becoming a devotee of Krishna, Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishna Dasa, this conditioning can be given out. Just like the movie theater, you don't associate, you just come out of the movie theater, what happens? There's no more characters, you are in normal situation. That's all it is. So right now we created different movies around us, weaving different type of stories in our mind and going on in the material world. So now Krishna explains what is mode of goodness in verse number 6. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha. So Krishna is addressing Arjuna as anagha. Agha means sin. You have heard of this one big demon by name Aghasura. Aghasura means a demon, very sinful. He came in the form of a python, big snake, right, to kill Krishna. Why? Because Aghasura saw that Krishna has killed my elder sister, Putana, and my brother, Bakasura. So he was very angry. He wanted to take revenge. He came in the form of a python in Braj area, wanted to kill. But Krishna delivered that demon. Past time is mentioned in the past time in the Bhagavata. So like this, Agha means sinful. Anagha means sinless, no sin. So Arjuna is addressed as Anagha, oh sinless one. Actually, you are the contamination of the modes or the influence of modes is called sinful. It's like when the government, is enforcing laws upon you because you have violated the laws, you become criminal. Likewise, the influence of modes on us is actually the indication that I am sinful. Sinful in what sense? Sinful in violating the laws of Krishna, established laws of Krishna. That's why I become sinful. Right? Sinful not in whatever I think. I have made some laws in my mind. No. According to Krishna's perspective. Prabhupada says, you may be a well-dressed gentleman, morally honest, morality, honesty, very good, very nice. But you're not devotee of Krishna, you are sinful. That's the point. This is the standard of morality and whatever, honesty, etc., etc. So, Krishna is addressing Arjuna as, oh sinless one, sattvam, tatra sattvam, this mode of goodness is actually the purest of the three. Nirmalatvat, first symptom. It is better than the other two, basically. Best among the three. And it is prakashakam. It is going to give you knowledge, illumination. Means what is correct, what is wrong. It will give you a sense of discrimination. And also, it is going to bring you to the platform of anamayam. Amaya again means sinful reaction. Anamaya means no sinful reaction. Right? So first it is better than the other modes. And it is going to give you a sense of understanding, proper understanding, knowledge, illumination. Thirdly, it is going to free you from sinful reactions. And Krishna says, but the problem with this mode is that you become sort of a conditioned in that mode. Sukha sangena badhnati, because some sense of happiness is there in this mode. Right? I know better than others. I am good. I am very happy. This sort of a happiness, sense of happiness is there. Become conditioned by that. Because you have developed some better understanding than others. Right? So Prabhupada explains that this particular mode, known as mode of goodness, is that a person becomes wiser than others in terms of the material estimation. Prabhupada gives an example of scientist, philosopher, then some thinkers. They all are intellectuals, you can say, because they somehow figured out some aspects of truths of life, and they are living a life of that that understanding. Intellectuals, basically. So society honors them. It's like there are some writers, some scientists, some thought-provoking people, right? Society honors them because he knows things better. He knows how to solve the problem of life. Doesn't know completely, but at least to some extent better than me. So this person, he has because of his being in that mode, he is somehow living a life of, he knows, okay, I'm happy than you. See, this how problem will come, but Just like we have some big people who are all talking and giving that, very powerful sessions. Some big, they have meetings for a lot of people with regard to mind control and how to overcome failure and how to say that, you are always successful in life. Like this, these are people who are in the mode of goodness. Right? So the Prabhupada says the effect of developing this mode of goodness in the material world is that they become wiser than others, and people appreciate their understanding, their knowledge. Oh, very good! We didn't know this. You have figured out. Very good. I remember, reading one book in my college days, 7 habits of successful people. Right? Most of you would have be familiar with this. Right? Somehow, with this good karma, previous karma, his principles are only mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Same things he has stated in a different way. And very good. Excellent. See, 7 habits. You have not read this book? Oh, your life is useless. As you know, reading that book is more important than reading Bhagavad Gita. So like this, people go on. So Prabhupada says, this mode of goodness is also, the representative type is a Brahmana. Brahmana's qualities, Krishna further explains later on. He is having sense control, mind control. He is simple in his behavior. Right? He is straightforward in his dealings. He is actually religious. But all these symptoms of a Brahmana is not found in the modern day scientists or philosophers, but they have one level of understanding which they think, oh, I know, I have figured out things. But the point here is they will lead a life in a way as though they know what is life. They have found out the truth in life. So they get a sense of satisfaction and happiness within them. And this is going to condition them. Well, I know. If you go and tell them about Krishna is Supreme Lord, it will not hit them. No, it will only go above their head. Right? So like this, Prabhupada says, even though you may be in the mode of goodness, it will condition you to one particular type of a lifestyle because people are honoring you. You are a scientist, you'll get Nobel Prize. You'll get that prize, you'll get that honor. Oh, you're called for guest lectures. Oh, busy. You're so accomplished in whatever way, or intellectual. Right? So like this, people become conditioned in one type of a lifestyle with the name, fame, power, position, all these things, and then they go on. So Krishna says, this also is a type of a conditioning. This also is a disadvantage for us. Because as a human being, we are not simply supposed to be stuck with one mode of nature. We are supposed to transcend the modes. Prabhupada gives an example. In a jail, Tihar jail in Delhi, there are different grades of prison. Ordinary prison, where there is no bed also. There is one, cement slab made and you have to sleep on that. No pillow also. For those people, are very worst criminals. Then next level, there is some level of a cot made with no soft bed, but at least some cot is there, sort of a bed. And one more improvement. It's like we have general class and train, sleeper class and AC. AC also categories. 3 AC, 2 AC, 1 AC. Right? Likewise, prison also Prabhupada says C class prison, B class prison, A class prison. A class prison means generally some politicians or some very big celebrities who have done some criminal action. They are put in that C class prison. Sorry, A class prison, where there is they are of course in a in a house or a room which is not that they can move out easily, but they have been given facilities of a television and some other amenities. Or if you think everything is going well, no, I do not have to work also. Food is coming on time, television is going on, everything, I'm getting everything. A-class prison. That is also prison only, of course. Purpose is not to be in prison always, to come out of the prison. That's the point. Right? So, Prabhupada says, the catch with the people in the mode of goodness, everything is good, my husband is good, my family is good, my wife is good. Oh, very beautiful family. But that beautiful family will save you from cycle of birth and death. Are you practicing Krishna consciousness? Is the question. So this type of illusion comes in the mind of a person who thinks everything is good, good, good. Right? So life is very good. Life is very pleasant. That's what people are told. We are all being, trained. You have to get, good education, good job, good money you have to earn. Then life is pleasant. No education, no good job, no money, then suffering. Let's see. People think this is the purpose of life. But purpose of life is not simply that. It is only one aspect of your life. Main purpose is to come out of the cycle of birth and death. So, in the conditioning, after three modes, goodness may be with A-class imprisonment experience, but nevertheless it is conditioning again. Bhagavata says that we have to transcend even mode of goodness. Sattva guna also to transfer and come to Shuddha Sattva. That is called purified goodness. Right? So, if goodness itself is not going to give you any liberation, just being in goodness, what about other modes? It's more degrading. Now, Krishna explains about mode of passion, Rajoguna, in verse number 7. Rajoragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena sdehinam. So, with regard to mode of goodness, we understood 4 symptoms. What are they? Mode of goodness, it is better than the other modes. It gives you a sense of, freedom from sinful reactions. It gives you some elimination and a sense of happiness. Right? Whereas the mode of passion, the symptoms are, this is how you have to recognize in which mode you are in. Right? The mode of passion means you have unlimited desires. Trishna, Sanga Samudbhavam, hankerings, unlimited hankerings. And why? Because you are associated with this particular mode called mode of passion. Right? Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhava. Very beginning, 3rd chapter, Krishna said, the mode of lust, the mode of passion brings in lust and anger and greed and all these things. So, because of this mode, Krishna says, Tan nibadnati kaunteya, you become bound by what is known as karma sangena, by a cycle of, action, reaction, bondage you come into. So, the beginning point of this mode of passion, how it develops is, what is lust? Lust, kama. Kama means desire independent of Krishna. And this desire is manifested in the form of attraction to opposite sex in its topmost form. The attraction, or rather, the type of attraction or emotion Krishna exhibits in the spiritual world with his consorts, it's called Adi Rasa. Right? Krishna, for his own enjoyment, he expands his energy, internal energy, as Radharani. Right? Same thing is imitated in the material world. It is perverted. Right? So, the beginning of our conditioning in the material world is to imitate Krishna. Oh, like in material spiritual world, I want to imitate here. But imitation is, because of the feeling of imitation, there is opposite sexes here. Some living entity will get a male body, one living will get a female body. So Prabhupada says, the mode of passion means attraction between male and female, man and a woman. Woman attracts man, man attracts woman. That's the material world. It's called mode of passion. So material world means this is attraction between opposite sex. So long this attraction for opposite sex is there, you should understand mode of passion is manifest. right? And as soon as this attraction is there, and it increases, just like Bhagavata says, Pumsa striya mithuni bhava metat tayor mrito hridaya granthi mahu. When the attraction between a male and a female, Pumsa striya, by sexual attachment, will become intensified. It becomes a sort of a tight knot in the heart. Hridaya granthi mahu. So tight knot, not easily, you cannot separate. And this tight, hard knot in the heart will induce you, will push you for next further activities. Passion basically means being very active. For what? For me and mine. That is called passion. Goodness means, oh, you have some understanding. All that is what is required, we'll do. So you have to understand. Life means, coming out of these problems. What problems? Whatever he understands these problems. Lead a life of, peacefulness, good person. Like this, they have their own philosophies. But real goodness means coming to the platform of Brahmana, understanding knowledge about Krishna, and even transcend that and become a pure devotee of Krishna. Just simply understanding is not enough. So passion basically will induce a person to work. Because when male and female come together for indulging in sense gratification will further propel him to, as Bhagavata says, Tayor mrita hridaya granthi mahu griha kshetra sutta apta vittai. You want to expand his objects of gratification. Oh, we have come together, we want children, sutta. Then whom will you show that I have married, I have got children? I want relatives, apta. And to maintain my children, my family, my relatives, everything, I want vitta, money. Right? Sutta apta vittai. Like this, you become entangled in the world of illusion. Aham, mohoyam, aham mameti, me and mine. In this world of illusion, you expand and expand and go on entangling yourself. Right? So Prabhupada says all these products of modes of passion. So like this, if anybody's life you analyze, what is their life? Me, my family, my children, my this, my business, go on. They will have a big story to tell you. It's all story of mode of passion in their life. So, Prabhupada says, like this, you go on entangling yourself. Tan nibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehina. What does Krishna say in 3rd chapter? Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandha. If your activities are not directed towards satisfying Krishna, it will bind you in the material world. Karma bandhana. It's what Krishna is saying, karma sangena. But if your activities are directed toward Krishna satisfaction, Krishna-centered activities, that will liberate you. Mukta sangena. Karma sangena, mukta sangena. Choice is in our hand. So, the whole world is now geared up. Prabhupada says, modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standards of the mode of passion. Everybody is working hard. For what, you ask? Me and my family, and bigger family. I have a community, I have a company, I have an organization, I have that, this. Everybody is working. So Prabhupada says modern civilization is mostly governed by this mode of passion and ignorance. Ignorance we'll understand now. And Bhagavata says, Tada rajastamo bhava kam lobhadayasyaye. The material world is influenced by Rajastama bhava, means mode of passion, mode of ignorance, which means kama lobhadayasya, lust, greed, illusion. This is what people are all completely enamored by. So, Prabhupada makes a challenging, question here. If mode of goodness itself, you become conditioned, no liberation, what about mode of passion? Right? So mode of passion means very active, working for me and mine. No Krishna. Krishna may be there, for 2 minutes. Hare Krishna. Yes, old like people say, I also do 2 minutes puja morning, quick puja. Everything nowadays it is quick. There's an app called Blinkit. You heard? Wherein you order something, it will come in 5 minutes. No, you not go to any shop also. So like this, everything you want quick. Quickly you should get married, quickly get divorced also. Quickly want children, quickly want everything. Everything quick. So material world has become like this, very passionate. No patience. Fine. Next, Krishna explains about mode of ignorance now in verse number 8. Tamastva jnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidravis tannivatnati bharata. Now, mode of ignorance means what? Ajnanajam vidhi. This mode of ignorance means it is completely your knowledge is covered. Ajnanajam. You're ignorant about what you are. And the other symptom of this mode is what? Pramada alasya nidrabhi. Right? It causes madness, laziness, and sleep. If you are feeling, if you are, what is this? All these words that Prabhupada explains in the purport very nicely. So the first aspect of this mode of ignorance is it covers your real understanding and you are in delusion. Delusion means you're thinking something else to be something else. Fact, it's like in darkness, you hold a rope and think I'm holding a snake. That is called delusion. Right? So, mode of ignorance, it causes delusion of all living entities. Who you are, what you are, you don't know, but you're in a different world of your own. That is called delusion. Right? So, and this further manifests as madness, craziness. It's like the hippies were going on in their life, how Prabhupada, when they went to America, craziness. They're thinking, by taking drugs, we'll be high. We'll go to, we'll attain spiritual perfection, nirvana. Right? They were thinking like that. So this is all madness. Yeah? And, laziness. Doing any work they want to do, it can happen in 5 minutes, they'll take 5 days. And they'll be very, very, so much lazy that they all want to sleep more than required. So, very Prabhupada explains, this mode of ignorance is a very peculiar mode. Peculiar, why? Because it is not actually the nature of the soul at all. It is totally ulta. Right? Just like a man dressing as a woman, it look very odd, no? Peculiar. It's something, because nowadays people want to show themselves or want to come in social media, become very famous. They want to do something very peculiar. So already they are having this mode of ignorance. They become more further degraded. So like this, Prabhupada says, the mode of ignorance is just the opposite of mode of goodness. What is mode of goodness? It is much better than the other modes. It's going to give you a sense of knowledge. It's going to give you a sense of freedom from sinful reactions. It's going to give you a sense of happiness. This is going to be completely opposite to that. It's completely opposite. No knowledge, it's ignorance. That's why it's called ignorance. Right? Happiness is not there, but he thinks I'm happy. That's called madness. Right? So like this mode of ignorance is something Prabhupada says is a very peculiar mode. And Prabhupada explains about madness. Very nicely explains. Madman means he cannot understand what is the reality, what is fact. Right? Prabhupada explains, everyone can see that his grandfather has died, therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. My grandfather has died, my father has died, I'll also die. But he thinks that my children will not die, or I will not going to die. Like this, he goes on to have his own understanding. And for this, he is working very hard, creating a big empire. Why? Because he will not be there, but next 10 generations will enjoy money. Right? So like this, he is totally neglectful of his eternal spirit soul. That is called madness. I'll give you one more simple example. Say you are having a shop, business. You're running a business from a shop. Exactly similar shop business, one more person is running next to your shop. He also having a shop. One day, somehow you entered that shop and sitting whole day. And somehow that person has not come that day and you have done all the business transactions. At the end of the day, you realize, oh, it's not my shop. Right? So it's called, ignorance, madness. Like that, we are doing so many things, forgetting about the benefit of the soul. What is how the soul can move forward in its spiritual progress? That is not being taken care. Simply running after, as Prahlad Maharaj says, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahado Vimudha. Maya Sukha. Oh, this happens, I can get this much money, I do that, I do this business. Suddenly everything, finish. What are you doing? Right? People are supposed to lead as per Vedic culture, a simple living, high thinking. But now it is ulta. High living, but meager thinking. Very small thinking. Thinking even less than animals. Right? Just see what is happening. That's why in the Vedic culture, you don't see big factories, big buildings, smart cities. No, because what is the purpose? What is the use of this? As long as you're living, the way that your life is going on, what is the need of this? Why you have to over endeavor and spoil your time? It's called Maya Sukha, madness. Right? So, for spiritual advancement, totally reluctant. Nate vidus swartha gatim Vishnu, Prahlad Maharaj says. Spiritual progress, we'll see later on when I'm very old. You're old, you can't even see, you can't even hear. That time we'll see. What you will see? Nothing. So like this, people have become mad. Ahankara mattahaya. Narottam Das Thakur says. They have become mad after sense gratification. Don't know the purpose of life. Running after, like a rat race going on. And with regard to spiritual understanding, spiritual aspects, they are very lazy. Nidra, alasya, indolence it is called. Right? Even with some material work also, they will, if they are tamaguna influenced, they will be very slow, lazy. Right? And Prabhupada says they sleep a great lot. Means they sleep so much. They think, today I have slept for 18 hours, big achievement here. They should give me Nobel Prize. I am a sleeper for 18 hours every day. Prabhupada used to give an example in Kolkata in pre-independence. There used to be peons running from one office to other office. Dalhousie Square, right? So those peons used to deliver one file from one office to other office, and like this, a lot of work. So somehow the one peon taking one file from an office in the Dalhousie Square or near there's a park. They'll go and sit there after taking the file. There they take a nap or a sleep for 2 hours. Then they go to deliver the file. Then the other person says, why so much late? No, on the way, some other work came, I became late. But he feels, see, in my work time, I've slept 2 hours. So, Prabhupada says like this, people think sleeping is a big, achievement in life. Right? So, the recommendation Prabhupada gives, Acharyas give us is sleep maximum of 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours, Prabhupada says in one more context. Not more than that. Sleeping more than that is tamoguna. Right? In fact, yesterday was Sanatan Goswami's disappearance day. Right? Guru Purnima. Sanatan Goswami and the 6 Goswamis Vrindavan hardly used to sleep. Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau. They have 1 hour Nidra Ahara Vihara, which all of us want to indulge in so much in that. Sleep, sense gratification, eating. They have made it to reduce nil. Sanatan Goswami used to sleep hardly 1 hour, 1.5 hours in a day. Was fully absorbed in Krishna's devotion so much. Always thinking, planning, writing books, and so many other activities that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given him as tasks. Excavate lost holy places. That's what they were busy in. So Prabhupada says, as we are advancing in Krishna consciousness, we should reduce our sleep and put more and more time for Krishna's service. Of course, not at the cost of risk of your health, because initially it may not be possible for you as a sadhaka. Slowly, gradually, as you're moving forward, automatically you'll understand, you'll feel, oh, the Prabhupada you see in his life. Oh, every day he used to get up midnight around 12 o'clock and whole night he used to translate Bhagavata, give commentaries in Bhagavata from 12 early morning, 4, 5 o'clock. Same thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to do. So like this, it's all a matter of how you want to, conduct your life. Mode of ignorance, a person in the mode of ignorance doesn't know the purpose of life, completely ignorant. Is mad, running after so many things which is not at all having any worth. Anartha, right? It has no meaning, worthless it is. So, such a person, Prabhupada says, appears to be always dejected and addicted to many intoxicants and sleeping. Right? People who are intoxicated, who are very much addicted to intoxicants, they're all mode of ignorance. Alcoholic, or a chain smoker, or drug addict, they're all tamoguna. Their knowledge is completely covered. They don't know what they're doing. They're harming themselves. Right? So like this, Krishna says, so you see, this is the initial discussion about the different modes. Mode of goodness means better than others, having aspect of understanding, illumination, knowledge, happiness, freedom from sinful reactions. Mode of passion means too much hankering, desires, very active, enthusiastic for me and mine, and entangled in the material world. Mode of ignorance is complete ignorant about who I am, why I am here. Everything he does is actions just contrary to spiritual understanding, madness, and lazy in spiritual progress, and sleeps a great deal, addicted to intoxicants. Now Krishna is going to give one more perspective of this. So 9th verse, very nice. It says, Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati, Rajak Karmani Bharata, Jnanam Avrityitu Tamaha, Pramade Sanjayatita. Whatever he said in 3 verses, 6, 7, 8, he summarizes in 9th verse. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. We understood this. What is happiness? In their own way. Passion conditions him to fruits of action. Means so passionately working. I want to get name, fame, position, family. He has to be going big, a lot of money. Means you are getting entangled. Fruits of action. Rajak Karmani Bharata. And ignorance is madness. Pramade Sanjayatita Tamaha. So, Prabhupada is very nicely explaining. Mode of goodness, we understood, intellectuals. Intellectual pursuit, he's trying to work hard, rather as a philosopher, scientist, poet, educator, thinker. Like this, there are people who think, oh, I'm doing great work, very accomplished person. I get Padma Bhushan, whatever awards I keep getting. I even get Nobel Prize, very happy, very accomplished. But from the spiritual point of view, he is zero. Bhagavad Gita understanding, no, nothing. But everything else he knows. So Bhagavad, what did we understand last chapter, 13th chapter? Krishna said, there are 20 items of knowledge. Anything other than this is ignorance. one is not practicing humility, amanitvam, adambitvam, pridelessness, shanti, tolerance, ahimsa, non-violence. Like Krishna explained, 20 items of knowledge. So a person in the mode of goodness, he becomes conditioned to one type of a lifestyle, wherein he thinks I'm very intellectual, I'm better than others, I'm happy than others. Life goes on. So that is what happens in the mode of goodness. In the mode of passion, he is working so hard. Sometimes, he also wants to see that the money what he has earned, he want to, show off with regard to giving charities, like opening hospitals, opening some big education institutions, charity institutions like this. You want to show off. It is all mode of passion only. And the mode of ignorance, he is completely is totally unaware of what is the fact. His knowledge is covered, right? And whatever he does, Prabhupada says, is neither good for him nor for the others. So, in summary, Prabhupada, Krishna is summarizing this. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajak karmani bharata jnanam avriti tu tamaha pramade sanjayatuta. So, like this, Krishna goes on. We'll continue our discussion next session again. Today we discussed 5 verses. Basically, Krishna is trying to explain how we are conditioned with the different moods. More symptoms I'm going to explain, Krishna is going to explain. So you can always see yourself in which mode you are in. Right? If you can be passionate, but passionate to work for Krishna. If you are passionate for yourself and my extended self, then it is the material mode of passion. Right? Like this, the same thing, if it is for Krishna, it has a different effect. Otherwise, it is going to bind you. That's what Krishna is trying to explain. Right? This verse, 9th verse, what Krishna said is, how you are going to get bound by these modes in different ways. Okay. So I'll conclude here. Anybody has anything to ask, discuss, can take a few comments or questions.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Yes, Bhumika ji, please tell.
प्रभु जी, ये क्वेश्चन आज के सेशन से नहीं है, बट मेरे को एक डाउट है कि सेकंड चैप्टर में जैसे बोलते हैं सोल इज इमूवेबल, तो वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ कि हाउ सोल इज इमूवेबल. क्योंकि
Okay.
प्रभुपाद ने बोला है कि जो सोल है वो जो योगी रहते हैं, जिनके पास सिद्धियां होती हैं आनिमा लगिमा, तो दे कैन मूव एनीवेयर. तो हाउ सोल इज इमूवेबल देन?
Okay. So you are talking about the soul's nature as kutastha, right? This again, this word comes even in 12th chapter. Krishna says about the nature of the soul, nature of the soul, and anything spiritual means it is immovable. See, it's basically in the context of the body is going through a flux of constant change. Right? 8th chapter, Krishna explains that adibhutam ksharo bhava. Material nature is constantly changing. Material nature constantly changing, so your body, which is product of material nature, is constantly changing. Kutastha means the spiritual nature of the soul doesn't change at any moment in whatever body it takes. That's what it means. Right? The soul may take the body of an ant, elephant, or a bird, or demigod, or a human. It is the same. That's what Krishna says in 5th chapter. The Samadarshi, Pandita Samadarshanaha, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuri Cheva Shapaketas, Pandita Samadarshi. The person, Pandita, learned person, sees a soul in the body of a Brahmana, or a Chandala, or an elephant, or a dog, or a cow. He only sees the soul within them, not the external body. External body is constantly changing. This life one body, next life one body. This life also many bodies will change. Whereas soul is not affected by these changes. Somehow it is assuming or thinking, acting is associating with the modes and thinking I am changing. That is the meaning of this word kutastha, immovable. Clear? Immovable means from spiritual perspective, it doesn't go through any movement like how the material body is constantly moving from one type of body to another. Prabhupada explains very nicely. You may think the body is growing, but actually it is changing. Use the example of a cinematic spool. No, in at least a few years ago, we used to have reels. You go to a theater, the reel, the projector is there, the reel is there, big reel, and it goes on moving, and it looks as on the screen, the person, the hero is lifting his hand, is moving, fighting. So this particular scene is one reel. If you carefully analyze every piece of the reel, every picture of the reel, it is a different, type of a, say, movement. But when it is run in a continuous fashion, it looks as though it is moving. So similarly, body, even though it is with us for time being now, it looks like it is growing every day. But actual understanding of Bhagavad Gita is it is changing. It is changing every moment. But it is so imperceptibly changing, we cannot identify. Just like Prabhupada gives example, your child, maybe say 1 year old, and your friend has seen that child when it was 1 year old. Maybe after 10 years, again, that friend comes and meets you. His child has grown. Prabhupada is not growth, it is called change. The body keeps changing. That is why it's called movable. Whereas the soul is immovable. It will not change. Whereas the body keeps changing, and soul accordingly associating with that changed body immediately, so nicely, imperceptibly. It's Paramatma's blessing. Because you want to identify with the body. That's the point. So immovable means we are not subject to the different changes and the different flux the body goes through. The soul is not influenced by such changes, such movements of the body. Okay? Fine. Anything else?
प्रभु जी, one more question, अगर आप time है तो.
Yes, बोलिए. Please
प्रभु
go on.
जी, एक query, जैसे ये सायुज्य मुक्ति होती है, तो उसमें एक सोल की विश होती है कि परमात्मा के साथ मर्ज होना है. तो हम लोग क्या ब्रह्म ज्योति में मर्ज होते हैं कि वी रिमेन देयर एज इंडिविजुअल इन द रेज ऑफ ब्रह्म ज्योति?
Yes, we remain individuals, but there is no activity. Sayujya Mukti is one type of a liberation wherein you think that you have merged. Vimukta maninaha, Bhagavata says. You think you have liberated, but that type of liberation which you think is not a stable position. Because you have not taken shelter of Krishna. Prabhupada gives the example of when you are going in a flight, say long flight from India to other end of America, say 17 hours flight. You get bored. When I'm going to get on the land, or you're traveling in a ship. Prabhupada gave the example of how I was traveling in a ship for 35 days. I got seasickness. So soul by nature needs activity. It cannot remain inactive. So this aspect of Sayujya Mukti means you assume or you think, maninaha, you think that I have become liberated, I have no activity now. Right? So that is not a stable position. Again, you will look for, because soul is by nature active, it looks for activity. So it will fall down again. Padam, padam, param, padam, tatam. Anartha Yushmadangreya. Because Yushmadangreya means Krishna's lotus feet you have dishonored or disrespected. So he'll fall down. not a stable position. So whereas one who has taken shelter of Krishna, his position is so stable. He is relishing transcendental bliss. He doesn't want to, he will never give up that position. Once you have experienced some bliss, you want to enhance more and more and more bliss. That's the understanding. So Sahaja Mukti is not desired by the sadhakas or Vaishnavas. As one of the great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kaivalyam narakayate. Kaivalya, Sahaja Mukti is equal to naraka. Like you're staying, Prabhupada gives one example, if you're put in an island alone, nobody is there, no enjoyment. How long, how much time will be alone? You need some association, people, activities. That's why Sahaja Mukti is not desired by devotees. Sahaja Mukti is an unstable position. In Sahaja Mukti, Krishna explained, even though attains Sahaja Mukti, in 12th chapter, Kleshodhi katarastesham avyakta chetasam. So even to get a Sahaja Mukti's position is very difficult. Great endeavor, one will come to the position of Sahaja Mukti. Okay.
प्रभु जी वो भागवतम का श्लोक का नंबर आपको पता है क्या? अभी
10th
जो आपने
canto
कोट
में है,
की
10th canto में है, 2nd chapter में है. Verse I will let you know. Exactly don't remember the verse number, but it's 10th canto, 2nd chapter. The Garbhastuti, the demigods offering prayers to Devaki. Krishna in the womb, they're offering prayers.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna. Fine, so we'll close here. Thank you everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.